has ruined my life completely. I spent hours upon hours of me playing this game while I could be out drinking beer. So you know what? Have fun fighting Demon for the GameCube. I hope you die.
Oh, looky here, we got some eggnog, baby! Heck yeah!
Oh my gosh, eggnog is just the best October drink ever.
Because when it's about Christmas, you're not going to be able to actually get eggnog. This is so good.
Oh, wait. Take a bit of my eggnog. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, TheGamingTrouge here, and Halloween is finally here. Yes, about time that Halloween is here, and no demons have ever showed. Oh, dude, what was in the eggnog? Did Grimace make that? Like, holy cow. Oh, wait, what happened to the lights?
How many times do I need to get rid of you?
You can stay out here with both the video games. Okay, finally got rid of that game once and for all. Yeeted outside again, despite me originally throwing it off a 2-story house. I think we'll finally go. The only way I can sleep at night now is if I talk about these games myself. Bad video games have always existed, just like bad eggnog. Talking about bad video games can sometimes bring out the worst in people, so I want to preface this by saying these are all my personal opinions on what makes a bad video game a bad video game. If you like a lot of these games that are on this list, feel free to talk about it down below in the comment section. Just be, respectful. There are good stuff about some of these video games that I will try to highlight, but unfortunately the cons are just too big of cons. Anyway, let's hit the road. Oh, curse the sun for giving us one of the worst Pokemon games! I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this. Okay, so flashback like 2 seconds ago when I made this line. There are good stuff about. So yeah, Pokemon Generation 7. I know that this game has its fans, and obviously it's not actually a playable game. Just in terms of me and my Pokemon love, this is the game that basically made me not really care for the games as much. I still love the franchise to this very day and still watch a lot of the movies and stuff, but in terms of the actual video games, this is the one that did it in for me. Basically, whenever I was watching every type of Nintendo Direct or any type of trailer that Nintendo dropped, I wasn't really getting as excited as I was for Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, with the latter being one of my favorite remakes ever made of one of my favorite Pokemon games ever made. Yes, I'm a little biased. Didn't help the fact that I was heavily invested into the last anime series, and then when this anime series started, it just looked like it was talking down to its audience, and at this point I was going to get invested into many other animes out there. But regardless, my girlfriend loaned me the copy of Sun, and I played it for 4 hours, and I immediately gave it back to her. Holy cow, this game was putting me to sleep. Now, don't get me wrong, not everything about this game is bad. I feel like the characterization is really good, and I really do like the overall plot in a nutshell, but in regards to just the game as a whole, it's a slog to go through. And it's mostly have to do with the text boxes and the fact that the game just moves at a snail's pace. Compared to the last generation of Pokemon, this one just felt a little off to me. And basically, it just made me put me to sleep. Like, it was just super slow, super boring. I didn't really care for a lot of the Pokemon designs. There are a couple of lower designs that I do love, but overall, this is definitely the lowest point of the Pokemon series before Scarlet and Violet came out. But oh my gosh, this game is just not my favorite. If you love this game, more power to you. It definitely has an audience, but unfortunately, I'm not part of that audience. Get in the bag, Nebby. Well, I think I threw away my reputation faster than the guy eating cereal for 6 minutes. Kingdom Hearts, one of my favorite video game franchises of all time, has some of my favorite characters, my favorite stories in all of media, and some of my favorite games I've ever played. But one of the first DS games I've ever played in the series is one of the worst. Okay, let's cut to the chase. This is one of the worst Kingdom Hearts games ever made, but the fact that it's number 4 on the list and not, heckin' number 1 is saying something. After falling in love with Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, I was eager to play all different types of Kingdom Hearts games, and for my birthday I got both this game and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance for my newly acquired Nintendo 3DS. And let me just tell you, I played so much more Dream Drop Distance, not because it's the better game, but because it was just so much more fun and interesting compared to this game. You're going through Sora's memories from the first 2 Kingdom Hearts games on a system that kinda can't do 3D games all too well. Some might remember when I streamed Super Mario 64 DS, I actually complimented the D-pad controls. It didn't take away from what made the control stick so innovative with Super Mario 64, and it works way well on the handheld. This doesn't really apply here. It just feels like a dumbed down version of the first Kingdom Hearts game, and it just feels so weird, and honestly going back and playing it nowadays, it cramps up my hands more than anything. I know people are quick to bring up 358 Days or 2, but that game survives on its story alone. The characters in that game are leagues better than what they did to my boy Sora here. In all honesty, this is the worst Kingdom Hearts game. Nothing more than just a filler title until Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance came out on the 3DS. But one point I will give Square Enix for the DS Kingdom Hearts titles is that it has dialogue, something that Pokemon has been lacking for so long. Why does Pokemon hate dialogue? Gosh, I wanna go snowboarding. Gosh, the 2000s just had a plethora of a bunch of different snowboarding games. In all honesty, I really love snowboarding. It's one of my favorite things to do in video games. I've never done it myself personally, but it's something I always wanted to do, and video games help me live out that fantasy of one day snowboarding. Whether it be Shaun White snowboarding on the Xbox 360 or SSX, you're getting an amazing time. But then came 1080 Avalanche into my life, and oh my gosh, this game is one of the best Nintendo GameCube games. It's up there as one of my favorite party games, and honestly, I need to go back and replay this. Oh, what's that? You want to throw an edgy story into our snowboarding game? Well, how bad can it? Oh my gosh, even as a kid, I felt like this was a bit much. Trying to add a story into a snowboarding game is not necessarily a bad thing, but the way they did it here is just kinda all over the place, kind of. I still don't really understand. You're a rebel snowboarder going down a mountain that's for skiers only, and the skiers are actually plotting something evil. Okay. How's the gameplay? Oh my gosh! This is the weirdest controlling snowboarding game I think I've ever played in my life. It's super weird. It takes forever for me to actually pull off any type of tricks. When I try to do a flip, it stops for 5 seconds and boom, I died. Let's try to do one of these missions. That's what I need to do in order to proceed through the game. Bing, bam, boo, I died and I can't continue on.
And that was the first freaking track!
Also, what the heck are these pre-rendered cutscenes? They look rough. Even as a kid, I thought these looked disgusting. They looked like they drank Red Bull and Blue Monster once.
Hello, this is Uber Eats.
Oh my, I've been holding on my thoughts about this game for years at this point, and I finally am glad that I finally can get them out. This is one of the worst snowboarding games I think I've ever played in my entire life. And that's saying a lot. There's a lot of good snowboarding games out here, but this game managed to make it into the top 3 of my worst favorite games ever. Worst favorite games, I think that's an oxymoron.
Why are you drunk? There's no redeemable qualities about this game. I'm about to go off the walker. I'm about to do something completely crazy. I'm about to do something I never think I'll ever do in my life.
Okay, I would like to think I've gotten a little better with age, but regardless, my point still stands about this freaking video game. Oh, okay, I can do this. Finding Nemo on the Nintendo GameCube is one of the worst video games I personally have ever played. It's up there with some of the worst video games that most people say are actually crap, because it is. It feels like it tries to appeal to kids, but the difficulty spikes up so much that it makes me want to throw my controller out the window. Then these stupid graphics. Like, this came out in 2003. Look at these types of games that came out in 2003. You know what? That's probably being too generous. Let's look at a license-based video game that came out in 2003. Oh, what's that? Naruto Clash of Ninja? That game came out in 2003 and still looks leagues better than this game? Oh my gosh, and don't get me started with the cutscenes in this game. They paint Marlin to be a stupid, dumb parrot that doesn't even think that his son is super strong, despite him, you know, actually doing stuff to help progress through the story. Why did they drag out them going to school and meeting out the kids? That's not how it works in the movie, so you're basically tweaking the movie, which that's a fine thing to do, but it just kind of character butchers the plot of the entire movie of Marlin and Nemo. Like, their relationship should be a little bit different from the fact that Nemo has obviously taken care of himself. The gameplay is just a dull and unoriginal copy of Echo the Dolphin, but even worse than Echo the Dolphin. Then you have these missions where you're supposed to be swimming around in a straight line and you're supposed to hold down the A button to go faster, but despite the fact that you're holding down the A button, it doesn't feel like Nemo's speed is increasing. It just feels like that you're just not going as fast, and especially at this part when Scuba Diver tries to catch Nemo. I mean, why do I get a game over if he catches me earlier than intended? What is the point of me having to try to swim away and just not letting him get caught just for the rest of the game to basically me getting caught? That makes no sense, video game! This game aggravates the heck out of me, and it didn't need to be. This game was special because of the person that gave it to me. I tried cherishing this game. I tried actually playing it for multiple years, with this being the last game I got from my cousin, which I should preface is the same cousin that gave me Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories and Pokemon Fire Red, so you can clearly tell that she was into her gaming. Why did she give me this game? Why was this the last game I got from her? What is up with this game? Why does this game exist?
I can't take it anymore. I've destroyed you. I've destroyed every other game I have a problem with. Look, despite you having problems, you didn't need to have problems, but you ended up having problems because of poor management or to try to get yourself out there in the nick of time. You don't have enough time to cook. You don't have enough time to make something original. And that's why Finding Nemo on the GameCube is the second worst ever video game next to Sonic and the Secret Wings.
Okay, for those that have followed me forever, they probably already know what I like about this, but for those that don't, here's a little quick fire round of what I like about this game. The multiplayer is actually way fun. It actually way got me into the party game genre, and I actually way do enjoy playing it with friends and family. The music is actually really well made, and it sets the tone for every stage. And the graphics, especially for an early Wii game, look really good, and I honestly think that the cutscenes are actually way well made alongside the voice performances of the characters. Story in this game makes me want to just rethink all my life choices, because in all honesty, they write Sonic so weird in this game, and the other characters like Shawa and the Wager de Jin, or I'm sorry, Majin Buu fused with a Kirby character, it's just not as interesting as they could have been, but the other characters like Tails, Knuckles being like different versions of the characters from the storybooks, I actually personally really like that. I think that adds a layer of depth into like Sonic traveling through a storybook world, and I think it's honestly a really good touch. Oh my gosh though, but when we get to the gameplay, I cannot defend this game no longer. This game is bottom of the barrel in terms of Sonic games, in terms of any video game honestly. I've never played a video game that took control away from you as much as they do with this game. This game makes you want to go through so many stupid missions, and I like the mission structure in some scenarios, but for a console game, wanting you to do different types of missions like this, I feel like this was more suited as a WiiWare title or an eShop title. Like, that was kind of like the level we're dealing with here. Not something that you will actually, like, play on your console. And I'm not trying to downplay any of the eShop or Nintendo WiiWare games from back in the day. This is just honestly something that I feel like was on that console at that time. But in all honesty, this game is just horrible. I put so many hours into this game as a kid, just trying to beat it, just trying to see the amazing cutscenes, just trying to find out what's happening with the lore here. In all honesty, I just cannot bear playing the game again. Replaying it for this video was bad enough, and I feel so bad for the creators behind this game because their away game stretched thin. This was supposed to be a standard port of Sonic 06 to the Wii. That's all this game was supposed to be, but because they couldn't get it to work on there, they had to scrap and find an idea in order to like make it work on the Nintendo Wii, and I just feel awful about them.
Whew. After all that, I think I'm finally free. Is the curse been lifted? Am I finally done with this whole time?
Well, that's just great. Happy Halloween, everybody. Special thanks to Cat Chat for sponsoring me on Patreon. If you want your name at the end of the credits, link is in the description down below to my Patreon.